What's up, guys? Armchair QBs here, going over our Week 5 matchup previews. Last but not least, we have Waddle versus Kupp my team in two pieces. So, Kenneth versus Daniel. Looking at Ken's team here, we have Tua going up against the Giants. I see this game being won by Miami pretty early. Just the way New York's both their offense with Daniel Jones and the lack of protection that he's getting, along with some of the poor decisions he's been making at QB, and then their poor defense. Just overall, this team does not look good, both on defense and on offense. So I'm looking for Miami to put this game away, possibly by the second quarter. If that's the case, look for Tua to be pulled sometime in the third. This just becomes a rushing game, whether it's Mostert, A-Chain, or if they have Solomon Ahmed activated. So this game, I'm not looking for a lot of high-scoring points from anyone on Miami. I look for this to be put away pretty quickly, and then just look for them to try and eat clock to kill the rest of the game away. Going over, look at Michael Pittman Jr. here against Tennessee and that secondary. We'll see. I'll look for this one to be not a high scoring game, but this is a good spot here. Wide receivers have been working against Tennessee's defense, so Tennessee's really good at stopping the run. So if they get Jonathan Taylor back, or even if it's still Zach Moss and they're containing the running back and they're containing Anthony Richardson with some of the out of the pocket rushing, look for Michael Pittman to be a benefactor here. So we'll see if Pitt City could score a decent weekend here. Looking at Jalen Waddle again, I don't know if this is the best spot for him to get his get right game. He has not looked good this season. I mean, they haven't really had to use Jalen Waddle. I mean, Tyreek Hill, Mostert, and Devon A-Chain have been beasting. So if those guys are scoring at this point, and we knew that Jalen Waddle, even last year, I mean, he had weeks where it was like 60th in fantasy, 70th in fantasy, and then 7th in fantasy. So he's kind of reminiscent of Gabe Davis on that MO where he's either boom or bust, especially because you have such a potent offense that Tyreek Hill is able to get open, almost all the time. So at this point, we'll see if Mike McDaniels tries to get a little squeaky wheel game in for Waddle and get him more usage, especially in a game here where they should win convincingly. So we'll see. Josh Jacobs is another player that had a great game last week. Their rookie actually was throwing it on the dump offs and giving him a lot more receiving work than Jimmy G has been this season. So up against Green Bay here, if this is able to be a little bit more higher scoring than lower scoring, I'll look for Josh Jacobs to get his usage and to continue possibly having a good game here. Dameon Pierce against Atlanta. Not been a fan of Dameon Pierce's usage. Last week, I believe it was Devin Singletary that ended up throwing a touchdown pass. So Pierce's usage has been going up, but this Houston offense right now is primarily through the passing game with CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins. So not expecting much from Dameon Pierce here. Kelsey against Minnesota, if this game ends up being a shootout and high scoring implied team point total, you're looking at Travis Kelsey going up and getting a lot of receiving work here. James Conner against Cincy. Cincy has been really, really bad both on offense and on defense. So look for Arizona to go up early against them, and then look for this to be a James Conner running, just trying to run the clock out basically. Looking at Brian Robinson here against Chicago, this is another great spot tomorrow night. Brian Robinson has been looking pretty decent this year. I know Antonio Gibson is getting a little bit more of the receiving work, but Brian Robinson is the RB1 here in Washington. So good there. Interesting thing here, I would look at starting. It's an interesting decision here to see if you wanted to start Justin Fields or Tua at this point. Against New York Giants, if this is a blowout, Tua might not have to work as hard as, say, Justin Fields down here going up against Washington, a more competent matchup there. So interesting decision to make there. Tua might be higher on the list. I haven't checked the QB rankings this week, so interesting to see there. You might want to look at that. Just look at the matchups and the point totals just to see if you might want to switch it to Justin Fields. Going over to Daniel's team here, he has Kirk Cousins going up against KC. I am predicting that one to be an over 50-point total. Olave here going up against New England. Here's another game that Olave is probably going to struggle in, especially if Derek Carr's not healthy or if they have to go with the backup. Was that Jameis Winston there? Look for this against New England. Bill Belichick is really good at stymieing the opponent's best offense. So if their best offense here for New Orleans is Chris Olave, look for him to see a lot of coverage here. Maybe it is going to be J.C. Jackson there, the new acquisition coming back to New England. Looking over at James Cook here, Buffalo against the Jaguars. If Buffalo goes up big in this game, I do see them running out clock, and that's where James Cook comes in. We saw last week on the goal line, they made a concerted effort. I thought Josh Allen was going to get me points on the touchdown with a QB sneak, but they're very intent on getting James Cook a touchdown. You look at their celebration and how they celebrated after that Cook touchdown. That was something that they've been trying to get James Cook for the past several weeks. So Kittle here, boom bust tight end here. He's so great at pass pro that they use him a lot for the blocking schemes. Not only that, but their offense is so good with CMC, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk that Kittle really is not needed that much. So it's on a game-by-game basis. Pollard here, good spot against San Francisco. San Fran is a hard defense to go up against, but that also means that if they're playing from behind, Tony Pollard will get more work in the receiving game. Just going down here. Looks like the smart decision to bench Joe Burrow. I've seen some people discuss whether he's even a drop candidate. Jaleel McLaughlin, I thought that was a savvy pickup. Shows that Daniel's been listening to some of the podcasts, or just at least looking at some of the fantasy news, which is always good, guys. Just keep up on some of the injuries. If Jonathan Taylor does not play, he's practicing right now, but if he does not play, then look for Zach Moss to be a good spot to go in the lineup here. Possibly instead of Judy. If Saquon Barkley is in the lineup, look for him to go up instead of, say, Gus Edwards. So we'll see how this pans out, but right now it looks like Ken is favored 66% over Daniel's 34%. So pretty big gap there, but we'll see. And that's it. Good luck, guys.